Welcome back to another episode of the Dope Sports Podcast, brought to you by dopecontent.com, brought to you by Get the Tables on Twitch and Twitter, and it's also brought to you by Amway.com, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you click the link in the YouTube description to get your shop on, your house needs, your protein, your pre-workout, yeah, cleaning supplies, detergent, soap, whatever you need. Yes, we are in partnership with Amway.com. Amway is the company that owns the Orlando Magic Arena, so they are a legit company, so we're not doing any BS around here. But you can shop with dope content on Amway. The link is in the YouTube description at the bottom, so make sure you click on that and show love. Become a customer for free. All you gotta do is put your phone number in your name. You don't even have to purchase nothing, no credit card, debit card needed or anything like that. And then once you do decide that you want to get something, an energy drink or anything like that, all you have to do is, once you become a customer, you sign up, you get points. It's almost like Chick-fil-A points, where you build up points, then you get stuff for free, and stuff gets sent to your house for free as well. So shout out to Amway. Once again, we are here with Tony from Get the Table. Shout out to Tony for joining. How's everything going for you today? Uh-oh. Say something. You're still muted.
How about that?
There we go.
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Been working, sleepy. Got a lot to talk about. D-Web on Twitter, Twitch. What's good, D-Web? If you're on YouTube, shout out to y'all for watching on YouTube. He say, is Tony the backup guy too? Man.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So for those who don't know, AEW being suckers decided that the one time that Get the Tables decided to go live for the YouTube, for the pre-show, for the buy-in show, they actually decided they want to start banning people. Bruh. The one time they decided to do it. And that's the time they decide to start banning people. But before we get into sports, you see we got Derrick Henry on the screen. WWE 2K just tweeted out Nikita Lyons entrance, so I guess that's something y'all want to watch. But I
saw that,
yeah, Derrick Henry's on the screen, and the question is asking, is he on the move? Reason why is because they put him on a trade block yesterday in Tennessee, but we will get into all this. A lot of people being tagged, a lot of people not being tagged. But before we get into sports, how did you enjoy the show Sunday, the AEW show?
For the most part, I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. It wasn't too crazy long, but the main event was pretty good. A couple of stuff I didn't like, but majority of it I did.
Okay, cool. So let's get right into it. I saw the last 4 matches. I didn't see the whole. The whole show, so I think I caught the best part of the show from what I've been told. So. Yeah, I've been told I caught the best part of the show, and we'll get into that because I don't even want to take a deep dive into it. I just wanted to see what you thought about it before we get into this sports talk.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start off with the NFL, then we're going to move to the NBA, talk a little bit of the XFL, my personal experience as my first day being able to work in the media at the XFL, getting the field pass and everything. So
nice. Got
to tell you my experience. Then we make our early predictions for MLB. Our top 4 teams. It might be biased with me. We'll see. We'll see how it is. But let's get right into it. Hopefully this intro played, then we can start.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. We off to a good start. The intro play, ladies and gentlemen. The intro play. I feel rusty because we took a week off last week, and it's just like when you take a week off, it just feels it. it feels rusty when you come back.
Yeah,
So
I hear you. Yeah.
but it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Let's get into it. So we have a lot of news coming out of the NFL starting yesterday, and I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of everything, and then we'll pick and choose where you want to, stop and talk about. So let's start with Derek Carr going to the Saints for 4 years, $150 million. Derek Carr is now officially the Saints quarterback. And with that being done, most likely Jameis Winston will be on the move, according to reporters in the NFL. Geno Smith re-signed with the Seahawks, 3 years, $105 million. The NFL has reinstated Calvin Ridley, so he's finally getting back on the field for the Jaguars. Cowboys tagged Tony Pollard. Just shaking my head at that. The Raiders tagged Josh Jacobs, running back. Jaguars tagged Evan Ingram, the tight end. The Chiefs will not tag left tackle Orlando Brown. And then the players that are expected to be released from their teams: Edric Kendricks, linebacker from Minnesota; Bud Dupree; Frank Clark, Super Bowl Chiefs. I almost said left tackle, but DN for the Chiefs; Leonard Floyd, which you already know about being a Tampa Bay fan; Robbie Anderson, or Robbie Anderson, however he said. Again, Robbie is always on the move. And then Damian Wilson. And then today, we heard that the Ravens are planning to tag Lamar Jackson. And Daniel Jones was offered a $35 million contract, $35 to $39 million contract. But he wants $45 million, which is funny to me. And if he gets it, I'm going to laugh. And that is pretty much it so far. So what do you want to start? What do you want to harbor on as far as the moves? Oh, and Derrick Henry is on the trading block for Tennessee.
Looks like Tennessee's doing some moves here, releasing quite a bit of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think they released the offensive lineman as well,
Left tackle
on top of Dupree, and now they're looking to trade Derrick Henry. Some moves are being made. I wouldn't say it's a rebuild, but I think they're just trying to get some cap space. And I'm curious to see where Derrick Henry goes if he does end up getting traded. That'll be an interesting story to follow throughout the offseason. Of course, David Carr going to the Saints. He got paid pretty well. 100 something million guaranteed.
150, yeah. Oh, you talking about guaranteed? Okay, yeah. I don't know what the guaranteed is.
I mean, sheesh. He. I don't know how the Saints did it. I think they're in bad as cap space problem as like the Cowboys and.
No, they're worse.
Oh, really?
They were like,
so I don't know how
50 negative in cap space.
I don't know how they were able to make that type of space, but they did it. They got the best quarterback in the division, so you would have to feel like they're favored to win the NFC South as of now. I'm sure there'll be some more moves to be made. Josh Jacobs, you probably had to figure he was going to get tagged. Daniel Jones' situation is interesting because this man wants to get paid, but I don't feel like he deserves to get paid. He did make a jump from last year to this year. I'll give him that. He won a playoff game. You got to give him that as well. But to ask for $45 million, and when you're not even probably labeled a top 10 quarterback, maybe he's in the mix.
No.
Is a bit outrageous. I think you need to wake up and kind of say, hey, 45 million. I look, again, if it was you or I or anybody in the chat, we're going to start off high. Why not? Hey, I want 45 million. Why not? You may not get that. They're probably going to laugh at you and say, well, I don't think you're worth that much.
Right.
I think you're worth probably about 30 to 35, which I think is still good. Like, what's the difference between 45 and 35? $10 million? I mean, still, you're well off the rest of your life. I think he needs to be more of a team player and take the $30 to $35 million deal. The Eric Hendricks one, I'm not surprised. I mean, some of these moves you're not too shocked to see, but like Derrick Henry a little bit, yeah, because that man's been a monster for Tennessee and a main focal point of that offense.
Yeah,
and they're thinking about trading him. It's kind of shocking. And then you had the Bucks. They released Leonard Fournette, which was apparently a mutual thing, which I'm not upset about. But yeah, there's a lot of moves being made, and guys moving up in the draft. I saw a report today by Rich Eisen that don't be surprised if Anthony Richardson is the first quarterback picked in the NFL draft. So it's like, damn, it's crazy how things change over a little combine, how people move and move down after 2 days or 3 days of the combine. So yeah, we still haven't seen the shocking things yet. There's still more crazier moves to come, it seems like. And then Pollard being tagged was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to get started because again, we took a week off. I don't want to come back on a rant. I don't. But when I tell you I was so upset when that happened, I was like, why? And most likely you tag Pollard. That means Zeke is most likely gone. I get it. But the point is, and I said this, we said this a couple of weeks ago before all this happened, is you don't tag a guy that's coming off a broken ankle on the last game of the season at that position. Find somebody else that you can find somebody else. There's plenty of people in the draft. There's plenty of running backs in the combine that's killing it right now. There's plenty of free agents you could go get. And you tag Pollard for $10 million when you're already $7 million over the cap, and you're not even sure where he's going to be. We saw what Michael Gallup was coming off his ACL tear, and he wasn't the same. So what makes you think Pollard is going to be the same? The Cowboys are paying over $20 million in cap space right now for running back. And then you got Jerry Jones coming on talking about, oh, well, it's hard to build around, Dak Prescott when you're paying Dak so much money. Stop that. I'm going to shut that down now because Dak's contract, first of all, it's your fault that you had to pay Dak what you had to pay him because you could have signed him 2 years ahead of time, but you didn't. Then you could have extended him the year before, but you didn't. So you had to deal with what the market was, and Dak took what the market was. But his cap hit hasn't even really hit, and it's not going to hit until next year.
Yeah.
So they still got a deal out of it because Dak has only cost them $37 million over the last 2 years in the cap space. Now this year coming up is way higher than that. So yeah, you have to either extend him or restructure the contract. But don't give me that BS talking about you couldn't build around him. You had a number one receiver. You got rid of him for a pack of bubble gum because you was mad about him. You was in your feelings. Before that, you cut Dez Bryant, your all-star, your all-time leading touchdown receiver, because he had 1 year that wasn't Dez Bryant like, even though he still had over 800 yards and multiple touchdowns. You cut Dez, so you ain't got no problem cutting receivers, but you want to tag and overpay these running backs and linebackers like Smith, who they paid and still paying dead money for. And then you want to sit there and say, oh, well, we can't build. It's hard to build once you give Dak this money. Man, get out of here with that.
Shut up, bitch.
Nobody wants to hear that.
But they're the victim of their own mistakes, man. I mean, what can we say? They don't have a proper I don't know if Jerry Jones has all the money aspects of the team, but they don't make the right money moves when it comes to players and signing or releasing players. Like sometimes it's tough love and you have to let these guys go. I'm sure Jerry Jones loves Tony Pollard, and he did a lot for them this year. But like you said, he's coming off an injury. You can give a running back just similar to Tony Pollard in the draft.
Yep.
Happens all the time,
as
we have seen. Look at Pacheco from the Chiefs, late round pick. I mean, he was the starter of the Super Bowl champ. So I think Jerry Jones is a product of loving a player and then paying him, and I think he needs to take that aspect out of the mix. Kind of reminds me of he's like the Tony Khan of the NFL. He loves certain people and he wants to pay them whatever he can and doesn't want to leave them when he doesn't have a proper management team. Like they need someone in Jerry Jones' ear saying, hey, Pollard is good, but we don't know what's going to happen when he's coming off this ankle injury. We don't know what's going to happen with Zeke and him as a tandem. Zeke wants to stay, but he's getting overpaid. So you got to make some moves there, and then you could just find someone in the draft. It's easy. A lot of teams have done it. Look at the Bucks. We got why am I thinking Rashad White? I can't think if it's Rashad White. I know it's White. I can't think of his first name. Why am I drawing a blank on his first name? But anyways,
the linebacker.
No, the running back that we had. Now he's going to be the number one running back now because we released Leonard Fournette. So you can find gems in the draft. It's not hard. It's definitely not hard. So you just got to take the aspect of loving a certain player and not wanting to let him go to see him on a different team out of the mix with Jerry Jones. Because now they're losing Dalton Schultz, who was the main focal point of that offense in Dallas.
Bye.
I hear you, but I mean, he was good for you guys. And
we got 3 other tight ends that can do what he do.
We'll see. But I'm just shocked that they tagged him, especially coming off an injury. And
$10 million.
When you can grab the running back in the draft for a lot cheaper.
It just doesn't make sense. Because when you look at the history, again, they get rid of the all-time greats with no problem. They get rid of Dez. They got rid of DeMarcus Ware. They got rid of DeMarco Murray with no hesitation after the year he had in 2014. But now, and you let Amari Cooper go, who you brought in to replace Dez when you realized that Allen Hearn and all them guys wasn't gonna do it. So you finally get another number one. He does his job, gets over 1,000 yards every year he was here, and you just let him go because I'm trying to save money. His contract too much. You just gave him the contract, and his contract is like 10th through 15th now in wide receiver. It's nothing. It's a bargain now.
That's what I'm saying. I think he likes certain players to where he wants to keep them.
It's stupid. And, it's stupid.
It's gonna bite y'all in the ass. Maybe I'll make some moves. Who knows? I mean, you may trade Zeke, or I don't know. Maybe I'll trade someone. But both of our teams, got some moves to make in the off season. It's gonna be interesting to see who makes the more moves out of our teams and who comes out better. Well, obviously Cowboys will, because we lost Brady. We don't even really have an official quarterback at the moment.
You hear the Brady rumors, right?
I don't take that. I take that with a grain of salt. I mean, that dude already filed papers and all this crap. If he comes back, he comes back. You know, who gives a shit? I saw with my own eyes. I watched every Buccaneers game, every one.
Yeah,
and he was not the same Brady he was. I know, unless he's coming off and things are going better for him in the off season or offside of football.
Mm-hmm.
That man has too much things to worry about. And why would he, again, not sit out and then become a analyst and make that much money when this man doesn't even want to get hit anymore? Like we've seen it with our eyes that he does not want to get hit anymore.
Right.
So, hey, Miami, you want to make that deal? Feel free to. I hope he plans out, because it's not going to work out.
Yeah. What's up, Boss Hog? What's up, Jay Cross? Jay Cross said you don't tag running back. It's facts. You don't. Well, and I'm highly surprised. I almost said Oakland. I'm highly surprised that Vegas tagged what's his name, Jacobs, and Jacobs made it clear he don't want to be there. So I'm thinking maybe they tag him to hopefully try to trade him for something so they can at least get something back. But I can't think of another reason why to tag that guy. So in other news, Bobby Wagner is out of LA. Yeah. A lot of Cowboys fans are trying to bring him in here. That's the thing Cowboys fans do. They remind me of Lakers fans. Anytime somebody is free to with a name, no matter how old they are or whatever it is, all Cowboys fans and Lakers fans say, "Oh, they come to our team." That's what they do. Like, stop this. Like, Dez Bryant is on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube, but he's on Twitch, and he's on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, going live with DeAndre Hopkins down here, and the fans are going crazy. And I'm relax. DeAndre Hopkins is not coming to Dallas. We can't afford him right now. First of all, second, it's just not happening. It's not happening. The big splash the Cowboys are going to make for all those inside reporters talking about the Cowboys making the splash is Odell Beckham. And really,
more than likely, yeah.
Yeah, and really, I'm not even excited about that, because I just look at that as a name. And Jerry's just trying to bring that name in so he can keep selling tickets. And the Cowboys fans fall for it every single year, like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I mean, look, you follow the Cowboys more than me. I live in San Antonio, so they're just as popular here than they are up north. But I feel like you said, the fans fall in love with the name, and of course they're gonna want Bobby Wagner, and of course they're gonna want DeAndre Hopkins and Odell and all them, because they've seen what they've done before on other teams.
Right.
But they forget to realize that Dallas can't afford certain players. They would also have to make other moves to probably get those players here. Odell probably makes the most sense, honestly, to get him there. And he was already rumored to go there before he didn't get signed at all. So I don't know, man. This NFL offseason is going to be wild. Yeah. I honestly think it's going to be crazy. It's already kind of starting off with a bang a little bit.
Yeah, it is. A lot of big names, and it's frustrating because you can watch the teams like the Chiefs who go to 5 straight AFC championship games. They have no problems moving off of guys like Tyreek Hill, Orlando Brown, Tyrann Mathieu, and this year they're moving off of Frank Clark, and it's like they just keep it moving. They're getting good players to replace them, and they're saving their cap while paying their quarterback. But the Cowboys can't seem to do that. You have Derrick Henry on the freaking trading block. He's like literally one of the best, if not the best running back in the game still right now, on the trading block, because they know it's time to save money and it's time to get younger players in here under the cap. They're trading away their starting all-pro left tackle as well. They're cutting him as well. But the Cowboys are not doing any of that. But they want to sit here and blame the quarterback contract, which really hasn't even kicked in yet, which is stupid. So it's just dumb to me. The Ravens tagging Lamar Jackson, or at least they're planning to tag Lamar Jackson. I think that's disrespectful as well. He should have had his long-term contract, in my opinion. We talked about Daniel Jones. Do you think Daniel Jones at least gets $40 million?
No.
He just
I mean, now that the Giants are smart, I mean, that would be.
It is the Giants.
Look, it's all playing off potential. This man had one good season, won a playoff game against a team that was probably a little bit underrated.
Yeah.
And you're gonna throw all your eggs in a basket on Daniel Jones's one season. I think that's a bit of a risk. And top of that, like, you have to think about it. Barkley's a free agent as well. So
yeah,
the more money they spend on you, the less probably chance you have of returning to get Barkley. So I don't think Daniel Jones is looking as good as he is without having Saquon in the backfield. So he may want to just kind of check himself and be like, if I ask for this much, what are the odds of Barkley returning? And I think he's a huge focal point of that offense just as much as he thinks he is. So I think Daniel Jones needs to kind of step back and check himself and think about what risk he's taking of having the Giants pay him that much.
Yeah. So as far as Lamar, I think I said this on the last podcast we did when we talked about Eric Bieniemy going to Washington. And I still feel this way, and I don't like it at all. I feel like that's where Lamar is going to end up when it's all said and done. I feel like he's going to end up in Washington with Eric Bieniemy, and I don't like it at all. So,
I've heard the rumors of Washington being in the mix for Lamar Jackson. I don't know, man. If you're Lamar Jackson, I understand you want to get paid, and it's kind of disrespectful. If I'm Lamar, that Baltimore is second guessing on paying him, but he also has to think of himself that he's injured a lot, and he misses a lot of games.
You know why? This is why he wants the guaranteed money, because the way they run him, they don't surround him with receivers to throw the ball, because they want him to run all the time. And he's like, okay, look, I'm starting to get injured. I don't want to end up like RG3.
Yeah.
And if I do end up like RG3, I want my money.
And I don't blame him. I feel like it's two things that are probably with the Ravens. Ravens probably don't want to pay him because he gets hurt a lot, and Lamar wants to get paid because they asked for him to do everything.
Right.
Like, he's the running back, he's the wide receiver, he's the freaking quarterback. He does everything on that team. So at the end of the day, Baltimore needs to sit down and think, hey, what are our options outside of Lamar Jackson? Are we going to get, are they going to land one of these quarterbacks in the draft and they're going to be better than Lamar? It's possible. We don't know that for sure. If they trade him to Washington, what the hell are you going to get back in return? Sam Howell? Some draft picks? Like, I get that he wants to get paid. They got to see a middle ground. It's got to be a middle ground. They got to sit down and talk and agree on something, because I think Lamar wants too much money, and like Jeff said, Watson screwed everything up.
He did
for the amount of money. Him and Cleveland.
I'm about to say, it's not even Watson. It's Cleveland.
It's who screwed up everything for everyone.
Idiots.
Because they want to get more money than Watson. So I think it's I understand where Lamar Jackson is definitely coming from, because who's been his best wide receiver?
Hollywood Brown.
Probably Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Since he's been there and been a player on the Ravens, like, they have not made any sort of effort to get this man a star wide receiver. DeAndre Hopkins went to the damn Cardinals. You can't tell me that they couldn't try and get him to come to the Ravens. Like, there's been opportunities for them to get players to go over there, but they've made zero effort. The running backs, they got a great tight end. Like, I'll give them that. The tight end is fantastic. But at some point, the teams are going to start doubling Andrews. And what are you going to do then? Throw it to Joe Schmo? Like, you gotta give this guy some weapons, man. And they keep going after these speedy guys because they feel like speed kills, which I understand it does. But you also got to have other wide receivers surrounding him. You can't have 5 speedy ass wide receivers and no possession catcher or anything like that to mix it up out there. They really screwed over Lamar Jackson. I can't disagree with how he's upset and feels like a little bit underappreciated by the Baltimore Ravens.
So moving on back to Derrick Henry, what teams do you see?
If I'm Buffalo, I go after him hard.
Can they afford him?
That I don't know. I haven't looked up their cap space availability. But you got to think of teams that are on the brisk of winning it all, that are lacking run game. And Buffalo that's the number one thing they lack is the running game. Especially last year, it was all Josh Allen. They didn't trust the running backs that they had. And that's what led to a lot of mistakes by Josh, throwing picks in crucial situations. So if I'm Buffalo, I say, hey, what do you want from him? You want draft picks? Fine, I'll give you draft picks because we're good. You're going to have late round picks anyways. So I would go after Derrick Henry very aggressively if I'm the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills are negative $19 million in the salary cap.
So they would have to make some moves. Of course. Titans are asking for a third, and any team that does that is stupid.
A third?
Like a third round pick?
That's it? That's no way that's all they're asking for. So the best teams with the cap space, you got the Bears. The Bears can really make moves.
Dude, Bears can freaking sign everyone.
They got $94 million.
They got a shitload of cap space.
Falcons with $66 million. The Giants right now at $46 million. Texans don't need a running back, but they got $40 million. The Raiders at 30. How the Raiders at 39? Oh, well, they just got rid of Derek Carr. Raiders at $39 million. The Bengals at 34. The Bengals? Maybe trade Joe. Maybe trade Joe Mixon in the third round.
Would you do that? I don't know, man. I like Joe Mixon.
I like him too, but I think they're gonna ask for Joe if he goes there. That is the AFC. So the Patriots $32 million, Seahawks $23 million. Seahawks don't need a running back. Ravens can snag them. They got $22 million in cap space right now, but they got to deal. They got to see what's going on with Lamar.
Yep.
Detroit 22, Packers 16, Cardinals and Commanders are 15. Titans are still 13 million over right now. So they don't necessarily have to get rid of him, but I can see why
They
he's on the block.
They just want. I think they see that their team is old.
It's time to blow them
older
up.
Players.
Yeah.
And look, and they got a great coach. I love the coach that they have, and I think it's time to start getting a little bit younger.
Yeah.
And I think they figured that out last year, that they're a bit of an older team. And no disrespect to Derrick Henry, because that dude's a monster, and whoever gets him is going to benefit from him big time. But I think he's had his go in Tennessee already. I think it's time to move on. You know, like I said, if you're with these top tier teams, you're trying to aggressively get him. I don't know if I'm Cincinnati, I would try to go snag him. But like a team like Washington, or a team like who else did you name?
The Falcons. Like, Falcons was what, 2 games out of the playoffs, or 1 game out of the playoffs?
It'd be a risk for Derek, because you don't know what you're going to get from Atlanta, because they don't really have a quarterback. Why not Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit could get him.
But they have DeAndre Swift. They have Jamal Williams. They already have
Jamal Williams is a free agent now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe Detroit. I don't know. There's a lot of movement. A lot of these teams would have to make first to get Derrick Henry. It's gonna be interesting.
I wanted the Giants let Saquon go and get Derrick Henry.
Oh boy.
That's something the Giants would do, to be honest with you. But also on the move, possibly Jalen Ramsey might be on a trade block as well. Again, Cowboys fans are out here talking about, oh my God, let's get Jalen Ramsey. You're like, shut up. You can't get everybody. We can't even afford the people we have. And we got Diggs coming up, contract, which apparently they might be far apart, according to Brian Broaddus, Cowboys scout, or former scout, I should say. Which is stupid to me. If you're a Cowboys GM or whatever you are, you want to call yourself, that's your number one DB. Why would you not pay him? It's just stupid to me, especially considering you don't have nobody else right now. But then you got Parsons coming up, and you got CD coming up. So you got contracts coming up that you need to take care of, instead of focusing on signing or franchise tagging Pollard for $10 million coming off a year you just franchise tag Dalton Schultz. I would have let both of them go, but it is what it is. You got anything else on the NFL before we move on to the NBA?
No, that's about it for me, sir.
Well, let's keep. Oh, one quick thing I want to throw out. It's a rumor that Aaron Rodgers had a conversation with the Jets. Who told y'all about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets during the NFL season? This guy right here. Come on, tell people to come in and watch the Dope Sports Podcast. Tony is giving you great knowledge. I'm giving you great knowledge and predicting a lot of great stuff, by the way. I told you about
I think it would be a mistake if Aaron Rodgers goes there, but maybe not. Maybe not, but we'll see.
Not if they keep the players around them. They just a quarterback away.
That's what a lot of people are saying, man. It's hard to believe in the Jets, man. It really is.
Top 10 defense. Offense, they got weapons. Zach Wilson couldn't get nobody the ball. And then Breece Hall got injured. So that was a big part too.
That was huge, yeah.
So
losing him was pretty bad.
But I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers, go ahead and make that move so I can pat myself on the back even harder, and I'm gonna pull up the clip and be like, yeah, I told you.
Yep. Get ready for that.
Right, because you know I am gonna do it. So let's get right into the NBA. Oh, look, the transition working, everything. This is a good day today. We're gonna get to it. Look at that. So
there we go.
Hopefully it works on the next one too, but we'll get into that. NBA standings as of today. We have in the East, the top 6 teams are Milwaukee, Boston, Philadelphia, Cleveland, New York Knicks, and the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn dropped from from 4th all the way to 6th, which is not a bad drop off considering how many games they are behind, and New York going on a huge winning streak. And
we expected the Nets to fall a little bit. But the
Nets are actually still doing good, and I still think they got a good team. And then in the play-in, we have Miami, Atlanta, who just fired their coach and hired another coach, by the way. Toronto Raptors, and at number 10, you got the Washington Wizards at 30 and 34. And right behind them, you got the Bulls and Pacers with 29 wins each. So going off of this, has anything changed for you? What teams do you see making the playoffs with 20 games left? Does anybody get kicked out of the play-in?
I'm actually surprised to see Miami that far down in the play-in, because they're usually up there.
Yeah,
one of the top teams in the East. I think right now the only team I could probably see drop is probably either Toronto or Washington, and then Chicago moves up. Like, Chicago has been one of the more disappointing teams this year. Everyone's all high on DeMar and Zach LaVine, and it's just crazy how those two. You would think that they would make the team a lot better, but they've just been struggling all year. I'm actually shocked to see Washington so high at 30-34. That just, they're playing hard for their coach. Got to give them props for that. Atlanta's been a disappointment because they get DeJounte Murray. They're going to be a championship team, and they're below 500 by a game. They got their coach fired, which I do like the new coach they got, Quinn Snyder, because I was hoping he'd become the Spurs coach. Once Pop got fired, but he leaves.
I don't know if that's an upgrade there over Nate McMillan, but okay.
I don't know. I like Quinn. Snyder.
Quinn got embarrassed by the Mavericks without Luka Doncic and blew his team up and got fired, but
I hear you. Knicks have been a really, really good surprise. 9-game winning streak right now. 5th seed, they can cause some noise in that Eastern Conference. The one team that I'm curious to see how they do, and I'm sure Jeff isn't too fond of them, is the Sixers, because this team, night and day, man. They can look very, very good. Like, they could be one of the top teams in the East, and then there's nights where they just look like bad. So I'm curious to see how they look in the playoffs. As of now, they would play the Nets in the first round, which should be a win. But if they get matched up with maybe Cleveland or maybe the New York Knicks, they may be a little bit worrisome there. Of course, Milwaukee's top seed. They don't look like they're falling anytime soon. Boston is Boston, but I think still, out of everyone, I think the standings right now, out of 20 games left, I think everything's going to be about the same. We just might see some people hop over each other. But right now, Bucks are still the team to beat in the East, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. DJ Black on YouTube, what's good, man? Appreciate you joining. Yeah, in the East, I can see the Pacers moving up into the play-in spot and replacing Washington. I can honestly see that. I don't know if I believe in the Bulls to make a run. What's crazy is Orlando is right there too with that young team. So they're right there. 2 games out, really, 3 games out of the play-in right now. Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn would stay top 6. Honestly, Mikal Bridges is starting to like a mini Kevin Durant. He's starting to kick it in, and they still got one of the best defensive teams in the league with all those 3-and-D guys on the team. So if Mikal Bridges keep it up, I think Brooklyn will be a top 6 team still. New York, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, they're doing their thing. I just don't believe in them to get past first round.
Really?
I just don't believe in them. Because if they're right now, who would they match up with? Cleveland?
Cleveland.
If they match up with Cleveland and Cleveland is at home, I think Cleveland will beat them right now.
Okay.
So Philadelphia, I'm going to keep saying it. Doc Rivers is the most overrated coach in NBA history, and I will stand on that. Nothing changes about that. I don't like James Harden, even though he balled out the other day against Milwaukee and they ended their 16-game winning streak. I'm still not a James Harden fan. He's so, I don't know, it's just something about him since he left Houston that just made me not like him. And really, maybe his last year or two in Houston, I just stopped liking him for whatever reason. I can't really put my hand on why I stopped liking him, but I just don't like him no more. I love Embiid, man, but I think it's just him. Really, when the playoffs come, James is gonna be up and down. Tobias Harris is gonna be up and down like he always is. And then Doc Rivers again is the most overrated coach in history. I've been saying this for 4 years now. Boston and Milwaukee, they're gonna stay the top 2. As far as winning the East, I might have to lean towards Milwaukee this year. As far as winning it all, if I had to pick today, right now. That's my opinion on the East. Now the West, jeez, man, the West is crazy, dude. So the Lakers can actually win tonight and hope the Mavericks lose, and the Lakers will be in the play-in without LeBron right now. Jay Cross says, as Maxey goes, so does the Sixers. Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true. But right now, in the top 6, you got Denver number 1 by a landslide. It's not even close anymore. 46 wins. Right after that, you got Memphis and Ja Morant with 38 wins. Sacramento is at 38 wins. Phoenix is at 36 after the big win over Dallas Sunday. Golden State is at 34. Minnesota's at 34. The Mavericks are number 7 now after losing, after going 2-6 in their last 8. They're 33 and 32. The Clippers, you're sipping a little hard over there. You're sipping a little hard. The Clippers are 34 and 33, but they are behind. They are behind the Mavericks in the 8th slot. Utah is still in the playoffs somehow. 31 and 34. Portland is 31 and 34. LA is 31 and 34. New Orleans, I just don't understand how New Orleans is this far down, even without Zion. 31 and 34. New Orleans is the number 12 team right now. And Oklahoma City is 30 and 34. They're number 13. And it's just literally 1-2 games away from being top 10. It's just crazy. So predicting the West, this is the hard one. Who do you have falling out? Who do you have staying in the playoffs?
Look, I kind of talked to you about the Dallas Mavericks a little bit.
They not falling out. I can tell you that.
They're not gonna fall out. I think if you had to pick the last 4 teams in the playoff game or the play-in game, I would say Dallas and Clippers stay. It would be hard for me to see them fall any further than 10. I think LA gets in, man. I have a feeling LA's going to sneak in. I think Utah will get knocked out, and I think Portland will stay in. The surprise would be Oklahoma City making in the play-in game. But yeah, as of now, if you're going to ask me right now, I'd say Lakers make it and everything else over the Jazz. Portland stays in and everything else stays. How about Sacramento, man?
Yeah.
Mike Brown needs to get considerations for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Because nobody in the world had the Kings as a 3rd seed.
Right.
I mean, these guys have been balling.
Right.
And they're beating good teams. Like, they've been beating the Clippers. They've been beating the Suns, the Warriors. The Grizzlies. They're going out there and beating credible teams. It's not like they're pounding up on the Rockets and the Spurs. You know, they are beating credible teams. And you got to consider Mike Brown as a Coach of the Year candidate. He has these guys balling. They're 1st in the league in points per game. And 3rd in the league with an assist per game. These guys are just playing out of control. So, and they have an opportunity to pass up Memphis with Ja Morant out.
Oh, Memphis will drop.
So, I mean, you can see the Kings as high as the number 2 seed. So you got to give these boys some credit. You know, their next couple of games are going to be interesting. They play the Knicks, Phoenix, Milwaukee. Let's see how they do against those 3 teams coming out. Especially the Knicks, who are on that massive winning streak. If they beat those 3 teams or go 2 out of 3, I think you really have to consider them as a contender to win the West, which is kind of shocking to actually hear me say that. But Denver, to me, is the team to beat in the West. They just look too good with Jokic and everyone else on the team. Jamal Murray and all them. If they can stay healthy, it seems like that's been the number one thing with Denver is that they get hurt at the wrong time. But I feel like they'll be there at the end of the year in the West. But yeah, who thought West would be so close from like 5 down? It's pretty amazing. It's going to be a dogfight to the end of the year, for sure.
It is ridiculous. Now, Sacramento, they have everything you need as a team. They have a good bench. They have the star in De'Aaron Fox. So they have a backcourt with De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, which the Lakers let go, by the way. Stupid Lakers should have kept him. They have a front court with Sabonis and Harrison Barnes. So, I mean, they have pretty much everything you need to be a successful team. Now, do I think they're going to win the West or anything like that? No. Inexperience is going to come in at some point when you play in the playoffs and you're matching up against Phoenix, Golden State, Clippers, Dallas, teams that got experience, you know, that's been there to the Western Conference Finals or to championships and all that stuff. So I think the Kings will stay in the top 3 to 5, but I think they will be let me think. Because if they end up playing, they'll be a first round exit unless they play Utah.
The Kings?
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll be a first round exit unless they play Utah.
So if they play Timberwolves right now, you think Timberwolves beat them? I don't think they would.
It depends on if Mike Conley play or not.
Okay.
Because if Mike Conley plays, again, the experience is going to kick in. I think it's going to... And Sabonis can't punk Cat and Rudy Gobert like he does everybody else in the West. So, I think Minnesota will beat the Kings if they play right now. I would cheer for the Kings, but I think Minnesota will still get them. I'm just not buying the regular season hype right now on Sacramento. I think Utah will get pushed out. Portland, man. Portland is a head case for me because it's so up and down with Portland. Like Portland, I don't think people expected Portland to be in the play-in right now, considering they just pretty much got rid of, a lot of people as well. But they're making moves. As long as they got Dame Lillard, they can still do something and sneak in. And you got LA and New Orleans. I had New Orleans way higher to start the season than where they are. So
yeah, you've been high on New Orleans. I'm not too shabby on them.
I mean, look at the team. Even without Zion, look at the team. They have, again, that's another team that has everything you need. They have defense, they have front court, they have back court, even without Zion. And it's no excuses to be this bad. There's no excuses right now. So, I still think New Orleans will get in. I think LA and New Orleans get in. I think Utah and Portland gets put out.
Okay.
And then
I have Kings going to the second round.
I think Dallas will exchange with Minnesota for the 6th and 7th
spot. You talk to your boy
spot.
Doncic, bro, and tell him to keep his composure.
Nah, I ain't worried about that. The only thing that pissed me off about Luka, well, that is part of the composure, but the thing that pissed me off about Luka is the Dallas defense is playing 5-on-4 after he missed a layup or a shot because he's yelling at the referees. But
yeah, he complains a lot. But the thing to me, when I was watching that Phoenix Dallas game, and he misses a shot, Booker goes up, wasn't even talking to him, I don't believe. Said something about it should have been an offensive foul or something around those lines. And he gets all butthurt and gets all upset, gets in Booker's face, and what happens? He gets a tag. So it's like,
that's fine. He don't like Devin Booker. We don't like Devin Booker. I'm cool with that.
I understand that, but it also hurt you guys in the long run to even have an opportunity to even make a comeback or try to tie the ball game because they get those extra free throws. So it's just like he needs to kind of keep. Was it a double tech?
Yeah, it was a double tech, but he missed the chance to tie the game anyway, so it was over regardless.
I mean, I guess in retrospect, yes, but you never know with the NBA these days. We've seen crazier things happen, but those type of things are gonna bite you guys in the playoffs when he can't keep his composure and he's crying about every call or every missed shot that he thinks he was fouled on. So if I'm Dallas, you need to talk to that man. Kyrie can only do so much. And it's crazy. Y'all been playing okay together. I know they dropped a combined 80-something points.
82. I was at that game. Drove through a tornado to get there.
A few games back. So they have opportunity to be really good. I just don't see it, man. I think nothing against you because I know you're a Mavs fan and I'm a Spurs fan, so there's no hatred here. I don't want to see Mavs win it all or anything.
Right.
But I just feel like that combination is not going to work at the end of the day.
The combination ain't the problem. The problem is the coaching. I said it earlier and I said it again.
Yeah, I mean,
the problem is the coaching. The same reason that we overachieved last year is the same reason we underachieving this year. Christian Wood came in that fourth quarter against the Suns and was lighting them up on the scoreboard. And what happened in the last 3 minutes? Jason Kidd took him out and put the White Power back in. Bruh. Every time. It never fails. It never fails. And nobody can understand it. When I went to the game versus Philly, when Kyrie and Luka put up 82 points, the White Power, they would do pick and rolls with the White Power. The White Power would have a wide open lane. I actually recorded a couple of times on my phone, so I'm going to post that on Twitter later on. The White Power had a couple of open lanes, wouldn't even look at the rim, and the crowd is yelling at him. Like, what are you doing? Even Kyrie's like, go to the rim. He won't look at the rim at all. Right. He takes it and he just passes it real quick. And everybody's yelling in the crowd, which I was laughing because I was like, okay, I don't hear this on TV, but to actually be in the arena and actually hear that I'm not the only one frustrated with this. Everybody's in the arena yelling, shoot. Like, yeah, I'm gonna post it on Twitter, man, because it was hilarious. And you put him in undersized when you going up against, Jay Cross, exactly. You put him in to play defense and he's undersized, going up against people like Kevin Durant and going up against people like DeAndre Ayton, and then before that going up against people like Embiid, who we beat the Sixers, but Embiid put major numbers up, and then before that Anthony Davis and LeBron. Dwight Powell is 6'7", and he's playing center with a whole bunch of guards around him, and we supposed to stop these big men in the paint? And at least get somebody that can score with him, like Christian Wood, put him back in the game. JaVale McGee is not playing at all. You brought him in. If at anything, at worst case scenario, he can at least give you 5 rebounds and 6 fouls. At least. Yeah. And maybe 2 blocks with it. But it's just Jason Kidd, man. I don't get it. He's being stubborn. It's pissing me off.
So a report just came out on Twitter. The NBA CBA says a firearm on team premises, including a team plane, is an automatic 50-game suspension.
He out of there.
The league is trying to confirm where the firearm came from.
And I'm glad you said that because we were going right into Ja. But before Ja, let me give you my top 2 teams in the West. Unfortunately, the way I see it right now, I think it'll come down to Denver and Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to say that because I don't like Phoenix at all. And I hate to say this as well, but I think Phoenix will upset them. If it happens.
I think I got Denver all the way right now. Nothing's going to change my mind right now.
Only way Phoenix don't make the Western Conference Finals is if they play the Mavericks, and I'm staying by that. That's all I'm saying. I stand on that. So, yeah, let's get to Ja Morant. Ja Morant is suspended right now. It was only 2 games, and then they said indefinitely for being an idiot on Instagram in the club with the holding up a gun. First of all, they just had a team meeting discussing off the court stuff with the team, and then he leaves that meeting after they lost to Denver, by the way, in Denver, in Colorado, goes to a club, and then records everything and goes live with everything. Just stupid. And then this is a day after he was accused of beating a 17-year-old, and it was supposed to be some type of gunplay in that, or maybe he threatened him with a gun. I don't remember exactly what it was, but this is a day after all of this is happening. And you just, why? People are trying to defend Ja Morant, saying, "Oh, well, he has a license to carry." First of all, you had to get on the plane to do it, which is illegal, like you just said. That's an automatic 50-game ban. You ain't supposed to have a gun in the club, especially in Colorado. So you really should have got arrested. Honestly, and it's just stupid.
He's young and dumb, man. He's just young and he's being young and dumb at the moment, and. You're gonna have to probably put into play that he's gonna get. Look, he's dumb for doing what he did. Why would you go on Instagram Live, flash a gun like that when you know thousands of people are watching you?
Why?
And it's gonna go out there immediately on Twitter or social media. I get it. He was probably plastered and he was probably drunk, whatever have you, whatever excuse you want to make for him. It was a dumb one. He shouldn't have done it. And he's going to pay the price. And what's going to ultimately happen is he's going to cost his team in the long road, because now they're going to be without him. Who knows how far they fall down in these next 20 games, if he's there or not. So, yeah, not a very smart decision by Ja Morant. And he's starting to become a problem with his own team. Like, he needs to wake up and realize that he is a star player. Kids are gonna idolize this man, and what he's doing is affecting everyone, and he's gonna end up either, I hate to say it, shocked or something, or just out of the league, period, because he's gonna do a bonehead move that gets himself in trouble. So I don't know what his thinking is. His guy is a millionaire. He's a star basketball player, and he's just being stupid, hanging out with the wrong people, getting probably the wrong advice. And he needs to drop whoever he's hanging out with and start hanging out with people that are gonna do better for him and not put him in predicaments like this. Like if anybody really truly cared about Ja Morant, they wouldn't have let him do that on Instagram.
And look, you can't use the whole "his daddy is not around" excuse. His dad is at every freaking game. Every freaking game. He's with Ja every city they go in, sitting courtside and all that. Dad, why you ain't sit him down? Sit him down and say something, Dad. What's going on? Like, they just had meetings about you. You should have talked to him that Sunday or whatever day that was when they said he beat up a 17-year-old on the court. You should have sat him down then. Hey, you can't go to the club, especially if you just lost to Denver and you're in Colorado. Don't go nowhere. Just go back and chill. Play a video game or something. Do something. And if you do go to the club, don't go live.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Don't flash your gun.
Just,
you know?
But yeah.
He's just being silly, man. He's being dumb. And like Jeff said, you are the company you keep. And if he keeps hanging out with this crowd, that whoever he's hanging out with, it's not going to do him any good. And he's going to be the one that takes the big fall, because none of the guys he hangs out with are star basketball players.
Nope.
Or that are in his group. And none of those people are making the amount of money he's making. So, like, he needs to kind of wake up and realize that at the end of the day, he's hurting himself and his family. And him being suspended is just a little small part of what can end for his career.
You just signed a $200 million contract. Why are you trying to go back to the hood? First of all, you're not even from the hood, because everybody pulled up where you're from and how you lived as a kid and everything. You didn't come from the hood. So why you trying to act like you're in the hood? And now that you got money, like, you got people out here legit struggling, trying to make it out of these tough scenarios and places that they grew up in. They're trying to make it to where Ja Morant is, get the type of money he's getting so they can move away. He's going backwards. It don't make sense. Like, your family raised you up right. If you go by everything that we've been seeing, you know, from family stories and photos and videos and all that, dude, you was raised with both of your parents. You was raised in a good neighborhood. You went to a good school. What's the deal? Like, I think, is it the Memphis effect? You trying to be hard because you're in Memphis, and Memphis is a tough city? Because Memphis is grimy. Like, I got friends that moved down from Memphis. Memphis is grimy, and I've been down there. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's just trying to, you know, have that image for Memphis fans to keep loving him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that. And I just feel like at the end of the day, he's going to cost himself millions of dollars. And then what all the people always say when an African American does stupid like this, what, they didn't have their father in their lives or whatever have you, and that's all they put up all these
Skip Bayless. He's a Crip? He want to be a Crip? Man? Shut up, Skip.
No. Shut up, bitch. Sometimes it's not the family who brought him up, it's the person himself, and it's him. It's not his family or his parents, because they seem like good people. You know, it's him making bad decisions. You can only do so much. You can't be handcuffed to your son
Right.
24/7.
Right.
Sometimes they're going to make bad decisions, and that was just a really bad one. And he's made some bad ones in the last couple of months. He just needs to kind of wake up.
Yeah, so I don't have anything else on the NBA right now. You got anything else before we
No,
move on?
I'm good.
All right, let's move on. Oh, look at the transition played again. We are doing good today.
Hey,
We are doing good today.
Let's go.
I think that's the first time it played on all those. Yeah, say J. I'm trying to tell you, J. Cross. Like it's bad. Hey, I'm not even gonna go into details on Memphis. Memphis is grimy. I can tell you that for sure. So just real quick, XFL update. Week 3, we had the Seattle Sea Dragons beat the Vegas Vipers 30-26. Seattle is now 1-2. Josh Gordon with a game-winning touchdown at the end of the game to seal the deal for the Sea Dragons. I like their jerseys. Josh Gordon actually had another touchdown in the game as well. So Josh Gordon shined in this game as they beat the Vipers. The Vipers are 0-3. The Battlehawks, they come in the game 2-0, take on a 2-0 DC Defenders in a very close game. The Defenders come out with a win. Good crowd in DC. They win 34-28, and there was a big brawl at the end of the game. I don't know if you saw that. Those players got into it. But the St. Louis Battlehawks, who is expected to sell out the lower half of their stadium next week, had a good game against the Defenders. Defenders is putting up the best crowds in the XFL right now, so shout out to them. Then we have the Roughnecks, Houston Roughnecks. They moved to 3-0 as they take out your San Antonio Brahmas, who moved to 1-2. Hines Ward coaching. The Roughnecks win 22-13. Pretty good game, but the Roughnecks and the Defenders are pretty much the best teams in the league, and we kind of said that week 1 when we talked about it earlier. Then the Renegades moved to 2-1. They take out the 0-3 Guardians and Paxton Lynch. And this particular game I saved for last because I actually was there and I was working there as part of the media. Had a media pass and everything. I just applied and I sent some stuff and I was like, hopefully, I didn't have high hopes. I just applied just to shoot my shot. And they saw the stuff. They was like, yeah, come on, send me a long email. Send me like 4 emails actually, telling me where to park, what to do, what we can do, when we can be on the field, when we can't. It was a whole lot of stuff. So I pull up to the stadium. They say you can get there like 2 hours early. So I pulled up maybe like an hour and a half early. Go to the media entrance. I'm like, man, they not gonna know me. I walked. I said, Kevin Lewis, Dope Sports Podcast. Oh yeah, and the lady immediately said, "Oh yeah, that's the one we was talking about." And I just looked at her like, "What you mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, Dope Sports Podcast. Yeah, I showed them some of your stuff, and we liked everything about it. We liked the name, the setup, and everything." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm
all right.
We starting off with me being shocked. I was like, "Oh, cool," So I get my pass and I looked at the dude. I say, "Hey man, I don't know where to go because this is my first time doing it. I have no idea where to go. I don't want to be somewhere I wasn't supposed to be." So he showed me where the elevators was for the media. And go down for the field. You go up for the press box. Cool. Go to the press box for the first half of the game because they were like, "Hey, we got food up there and all that." It was like deli sandwiches, but cool. I haven't eaten nothing all day, so I was cool with it. Go up there, watch the game. It's a little warm in the press box because the air on my side that we're sitting on, the air wasn't working. So cool. I'm not even complaining. I'm just happy to be in the press box, right? And it was just amazing to see like my name and the brand that I'm trying to build here actually there. Like, it's one thing to see your name with a big name brand behind you, like a radio station or ESPN or something. And it's another feeling to see your brand, like you're there for your brand. So that was just an amazing feeling to me. And like I started getting like just, oh man, this is, what's up, Alice? I started getting like, man, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? I had to like calm myself down because I'm like, this is amazing that I'm looking on the wall. Dope Sports Podcast is on the wall. Seating chart, Dope Sports Podcast. I have my own little spot at the table, Dope Sports Podcast with my name. So I'm just like, it's just it's a dope feeling to have. And then I started, remembering like WrestleMania, getting this seat right here that's behind me was 2 rows, was a second row of WrestleMania, and it had dope content. I was like, dude, I take nothing for granted. Long story short, I take nothing for, like, that's amazing. That's an amazing feeling. And it's different from being like I said, with somebody else's name brand. This is actually a brand that I started and I'm trying to build. And I got the help of people like Tony and Darkness and Push, the people that join the streams and things like that. So that's just an amazing feeling. Fourth quarter, I go down to the field the last 5 minutes because we're allowed to go the last 5 minutes. So I'm watching it, and I got other media members coming up to me. I don't know who they are, but these are people like from ESPN and XFL.com talking to me and saying, just having a conversation. I'm networking now. So I'm like, that's a cool moment. We get to the press conference. I'm thinking it's going to be ESPN and XFL people asking questions. And then I looked around the room. It was just ESPN cameras. And the lady told me, oh, no, y'all are asking the questions. So I was like, well, I didn't prepare nothing because I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting you do this. I just came to watch, But I noticed that it was like maybe like 2-3 other small podcasters there, and then there was one XFL guy and another XFL guy, but none of them was really saying nothing. Like the podcasters were scared to talk. So after the XFL guy say something, ask a question, he's kind of looking around like somebody else go say something. So I'm like, I'll raise my hand. I talked to Bob Stoops. I talked to Terrell Buckley. I talked to Paxton Lynch. I recorded some of the answers and posted it. And I'm invited back to the next home game against San Antonio in 2 weeks. Well, we play y'all 2 weeks in a row. So we play y'all next week in San Antonio. By the way, I'll send you the link. I think you could get in that as the media pass, by the way. I'll send you the link if you want me to.
Sure, why not? And
then we play San Antonio again here in Dallas, in Arlington, I should say. So 2 back-to-back games, big games. We in the same division. We're 2-1. Y'all 1-2. It's 2 back-to-back games. I think we both need these games. Let me just say that. So there's only 10 games in the season. So
don't be too sad when we win both. All right?
Get out of here, man. That is my XFL experience, man.
You gotta let us know how the second one goes.
Yeah, I will. Next time I'll be more prepared. So next time I might do something for like a YouTube exclusive. I might be able to stop a couple of fans and ask them how they're feeling and record, interview them and things like that. So I got more stuff planned now that I know, and I got the first one out the way, and I know what I can and can't do. I was just surprised the amount of access that I did have, this first come around. I didn't think they was going to let me do anything outside of go to the press box and maybe on the field pregame. So
right. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome, bro.
It's very dope experience, man. And yeah, I appreciate the XFL. I was mad that The Rock and Danny Garcia wasn't there, though. I was like, man, I wanted to run into them. But, it's all good. Let's what time is it? We're gonna skip the MLB predictions and we're gonna say that for next week. It's still early, so we can do that anytime. I mean, it's still spring training. We was gonna make our top 4 predictions today, but at the same time, let's get right into our choosing game. Let's see if the intro play for this.
Dang.
We're shooting 100% today with these intros and transition. Look at that. I like that. It's a good day today. So let's get right into it. Choosing, if for the people who don't know, is a segment where I give my co-host scenarios. It could be TV, sports, music, whatever, and he has to choose which one he is keeping. These are my favorite segments of every podcast that I do. We're gonna start off with food in Texas. Dairy Queen or Whataburger?
I mean, you can't. Yeah, you gotta do Whataburger, man. Can't go wrong. I mean, Dairy Queen's good, but yeah, Whataburger all the way.
I'm gonna take Brahms over both.
Who?
Brahms. Do y'all have a Brahms?
We do not have a Brahms. That must be an up north thing. Never heard of it.
I thought Brahms was a whole Texas thing.
Nah, I've never heard of that.
You know what? Next time you come to Dallas, let me know. I'll bring you a Brahms burger wherever you are.
Oh wait, yeah, I've never heard of that place.
Yeah, I will bring you a Brahms burger. Sticking with food, IHOP or Waffle House?
Oh, Waffle House.
Really?
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
There's not really many over here.
Okay.
You have to kind of take a drive. I like them. You know, IHOPs are everywhere. There's 20 of them, like in the 2-mile radius.
I'm trying to think, man. Waffle House, you guarantee to get some food and a fight.
And a fight, yeah.
You get to call a WrestleMania match in a Waffle House. So, but then again, you also liable to get some hair in your eggs too at Waffle House. That's tough for me, man. I think, you know what? I lean towards Waffle House because I eat more items at Waffle House than I do at IHOP. So I'll give you that as well. Let's go to basketball. Ray Allen or Reggie Miller?
Reggie. That was a tough one, though.
I got Ray Allen.
Okay.
Because Ray Allen could do what Reggie did, and he was a better defender, and he could play better on the ball as far as getting to the goal and creating a shot.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you that.
So
I'll give you that.
I'll take Ray. Let's go to football. Running backs, Jerome Bettis or Sean Alexander?
Sean Alexander. He gives you more, man. Jerome was just a goal line guy.
No,
I mean, for the later part of his career, he was. Man, that's tough. You know what? I'm gonna say Jerome because of his consistency. He went for a long time doing what he could do. So I'm gonna go Jerome. Sean really only had that one really good season and kind of dropped off after that.
I think Sean maybe had like two.
I know he won MVP.
I know, yeah.
Probably Jerome. I'd go Jerome.
I think I'm gonna take Jerome too. He say Reggie talks more. I'll take him.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Sticking with running backs, Warwick Dunn or Brian Westbrook?
Ooh, Warwick Dunn was a former Buck.
He was. He ran for over 200 yards against the Cowboys that game.
Brian Westbrook was good too. I'm gonna go Warwick Dunn though. This being kind of homer here. Warwick Dunn.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a homer too because I hate the Eagles. Warwick Dunn all day. Let's go. But Westbrook was cold. He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was cold. Look, Jay Cross talking about Brian, of course. I got another one for you, Jay Cross. Brian Dawkins or Darren Woodson?
Oh man, I'm gonna go Dawkins.
Oh, golly, get out of here. Brian Dawkins was not better than Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson should be in the Hall of Fame. And he's like, people forget how good Darren Woodson really was, man. I got Darren Woodson. And this is not even the Cowboys or Eagles thing. I just legit think Darren Woodson was better than Brian Dawkins. Brian was a beast as well, though. But I think people sleep on Darren Woodson. I really think they do. Going to the NBA, Penny Hardaway or Derrick Rose?
Penny.
He said there was no hesitation.
Yeah, he was my favorite player, man. When I was little. Yeah, he was fun to watch until his injuries held him back.
Penny was legit the only guy I cheered for more than Michael Jordan. So I think I'm going to have to take Penny for that reason alone. Jay Cross, Darren Woodson did it all as well. Jay Cross. But yeah, Penny was the only guy I actually cheered for over Michael Jordan back in the day in the 90s. Lil Penny
was
commercial.
Man, that man was I loved watching him, man. Watching him.
Let's go to TV. Let's stick with Penny. Penny Hardaway or Tracy McGrady?
Like, is this like who I'd rather have on my team type of deal?
Yep. You drafting one. No injury, though. Let's take injuries out of it.
Damn, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go McGrady.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I still can't get an answer, honestly. Because one day I'll say Penny, and then the next day I'll say McGrady, And then I go back and forth with myself. I've been thinking about this one for a while, and I still can't get a solid answer. Because both of them were beasts, and I try to use Jordan and Kobe playing defense against them to see which one did something, and they both struggled with both, honestly. So give me Penny, because at least Penny made it out the first round as a star of the team. Tracy never made it out of the first round, except when he sat on the bench for the Spurs.
Yeah.
So I take Penny Hardaway for that reason. Let's go to comedians and movies. Who are you taking away? Or let me say this. Who are you keeping? Will Ferrell or Seth Rogen?
Will Ferrell.
That's who you keeping?
Yeah.
That's another tough one for me as well, but
It's tough, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go Will.
All right. Will Ferrell or Adam Sandler? Jay Cross said neither. Wow.
Adam Sandler in his prime, Will Ferrell in his prime. I hate to do this because I love Will Ferrell, but I'll probably go Adam Sandler.
That's tough too. Cause you got the Water Boys on. I love the Water Boy. Then what's the movie Big Daddy that he played? Mr.
Happy
Deeds,
Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Then Funny People with him and Seth Rogen.
Billy Madison.
But Will Ferrell, man, like I don't think it's a movie that I haven't laughed at with him.
True. That is true.
You took Adam, I'll take Will. I'll take Will. Comedians, Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle?
Chappelle.
What's the difference between those two?
I think Chappelle's more real with his comedy, and that's what makes it funny. Look, Chris Rock is funny too. I saw a little bit of his special that just came out. I saw the one they did like years ago. That was funny too. But I like Chappelle more. I like his deliver more, and the topics he talks about a little bit more. They're funnier.
I asked that one because I started a big debate on Facebook before we went live. So I said, it's funny that people that love Dave Chappelle hate Chris Rock, when in reality they are the same person. They are the same comedian. And I say everything that you see Dave Chappelle do in comedy, he literally took the blueprint of Chris Rock, and he would tell you that himself.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh no, like I'm trying to say Dave is better, or I'm trying to say Chris is better. And I'm saying no, they're the same. So how can you love one and hate the other? They both are very controversial with their comedy. They both got hot off their TV shows, which it was a sketchy show. Chris Rock did it first on HBO, and then Dave Chappelle followed the blueprint, as he said. And then the way Chris Rock does stand-up in his prime is the same way Dave Chappelle does his stand-up now, which Dave Chappelle also said. And it's like Dave is saying, he's been telling people, this is the blueprint that I copy. I copy Chris Rock. And that's all I'm saying. So I'm like, how do you hate one and love the other, and vice versa?
That makes really no sense.
Like they are the same comedians. So let's keep it one more. Let's give you one more comedian.
Let's do it.
Cat Williams or Kevin Hart?
Oh, it's tough. Man, that's tough. I'm gonna go Kevin Hart. Cat Williams is funny. One of the best specials he did was on HBO. That one he did. That's one of my favorite ones. But I'm gonna go Kevin Hart.
If we're talking today, I'll probably have to go Kevin Hart. But if we're talking prime Cat versus prime Kevin,
yes,
on stand up, I'm taking Cat Williams on stand up all day. Movies and stuff like that, I'm taking Kevin.
I agree. I can go with that. Yeah.
And then who is the better champion right now, MJF or Roman Reigns?
Roman.
Oh, okay.
By a mile, man.
Okay.
They're both doing good in their brands or their companies, but Roman's been champ for over 900 days. I mean, you got it. That's tough. You got a little bit. You got to hold the title for a little bit longer for me to have you be better than Roman Reigns. And that guy has. I mean, the storyline has been one of the best in wrestling
in WWE. Yeah.
For the last half year. So
Yeah.
like, MJF is great. He's very edgy and he's controversial, and he does crazy shit that gets you talked about. But yeah, as of now, Roman.
Okay, I just want to throw that one out there. I'll say the rest of the wrestling stuff for the podcast Sunday. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all joining. That is the show today. Thank you for everybody that watched on Twitch, everybody that watched on dopecontent.com, everybody that watched on YouTube, whether you came in and out or you stayed the whole show. I definitely appreciate it. I know it's midday and it's a work day, so I don't expect everybody to stay in the whole show. So for those who do come in and out, I appreciate you just as much as the people who stay in the whole show, and as well as the people that come watch the replays on Twitch, YouTube, and dopecontent.com. Shout out to you guys as well. Tony, you got anything you want to shout out before we get off?
No. Live tomorrow, hopefully on our regular account, not this one, and back on Friday. So that's it.
You said tomorrow. Yeah, you should be back by tonight. So I would check. What's the day? Tuesday. I would check around 7:30 tonight.
Okay. Yeah, because it happened like a little bit before the show started, or a little bit after the show started Sunday. So I'll check around that time and see what's up.
Oh, so you could probably check around 6 then.
Let's hope, man. I've heard. I just don't want to have any troubles and have to bend over backwards to get in contact with Twitch. And
yeah, nah. Anytime I got banned on Twitch, they've actually let me back like the morning of. So if I was banned like Sunday night, I was back either Monday or Tuesday morning. Like sometime around this time now, around noon. So I would definitely give it a check. I would definitely check at it. You should be back up. I mean, no problem. That's my experience. I'm just telling you. I don't know how they do it now. It's been a while for me since I've been, banned. So it's been over.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait till tonight. And if I don't hear from anything by the end of the week, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely get them up. But yeah, it's definitely was like, holy shit. Now you know what not to do, and
that's crazy, man. They never do that, but that's crazy. The one
freaking time, dude.
That's crazy. So dopecontent.com. If you're not on it, please go check it out. I did a special music entertainment podcast, Dope Content Podcast, with my guy Cleon Edwards. That's been posted on YouTube. It's only on YouTube and the website. It wasn't on Twitch because it was recorded. We did it in an actual studio, face to face. We played a couple of drum tracks and everything. So please check that out. Leave comments, show love, and thanks to the people that watched that. Once again, this is brought to you by Amway.com. Amway and Dope Content has teamed up. If you're on YouTube, the link is in the description where you can shop our Amway store, where you can get energy drinks. You can sign up for Am Perks, which you use like Chick-fil-A perks, basically Chick-fil-A points, I should say. You get energy drinks, you get soap, you get toothpaste, you get skincare for you get makeup for your ladies, you get protein bars, protein packs, detergent. I mean, you name it, it's on there. It's legit. Amway is the company that owns the Orlando Magic Center, so it's legit. It's legit. So he said Falcons and Lamar heating up. I didn't even think about that one. I've been thinking about Washington so much. I forgot that they don't have a quarterback because they're getting rid of Mariota. And Mariota and Lamar have the same style. Lamar just better at it. So that's crazy. Yeah. But Amway.com, the link is in the YouTube. Make sure you support. Thank you for everything you do. All the proceeds we get that you leave when you tip the brand, it goes directly back to the brand. I'm very transparent with the people. I don't pocket none of that money that comes from tips or anything like that, or you shopping. That goes straight into the brand. That goes to cameras. That goes to Pan Studios that we use to do the Cleon Edwards podcast and all that. So that goes to mics. That goes to overlays. So everything that you help to stream out, it goes back into the stream. So nothing is pocket.
Oh yeah.
But thank you guys for everything. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great day. And if nothing else, we are out. We'll see you next Tuesday, hopefully with some more breaking news. It's going to be crazy.
Hell yeah.
I just feel like it's going to be crazy next week.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope.
But y'all be safe. We are out of here.
There's y'all.